So we'll be talking majorly about art and arts integration and how we can connect it to life skills. But before we do that, we have something that we have to all understand, and which is say by Pablo Picasso, which says that every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he or she grows up. So, by all means, this is something which we have to understand, that we have to stay like an artist or think like an artist even when we grow up. One. Two, there's a small thing here in front of you, which is like, say the color of each word. Now, you don't have to read the word. That is, you don't have to read black. You have to say red. You have to say black instead of white. You have to say green instead of yellow. You have to say blue instead of green. You have to say yellow instead of red. And you have to say red instead of blue. So I hope I've made this very clear. And let's see how fast you can. And on the live chat, you can always put in, if there's an option, a thumbs up if you are able to read this entire thing immediately. Fatafat se, jaldi se. So I'm waiting for you all to do this quick puzzle, quick thing immediately. And then, yes, we'll move on to our next thing. And yes, I'm sure you're going to find it good fun if you do it really, really fast. So let's do it. I'll hold this screen up for you for a couple of seconds before we move on to something else. So while you were doing that, I'm sure you all must have faced some problem, and that problem is because of the left and right conflict. The conflict between your left brain and your right brain. Now, your right brain tries to say the color, but your left brain insists on reading the word. And let's try and understand that why this happens. So if you can see the image here, there is one part of brain which is all mathematical, all logical kind of thing, as you can see on the screen right now. And then there's one which is all colorful and is very, very vibrant. So we have one part of our brain, which is our left brain, which is more about reasoning, coding, logic, analysis, facts, calculation, and so many other things. Wherein the other half of our brain is all about creativity, passion, imagination, emotions, and so many other colorful things. So why do we have to have this division of the brain? So when we talk about brain, it's usually thought that some people have their left brain more active, some people have their right brain more active. But when we try to integrate arts in our studies, arts in our regular curriculum, our course, then what happens is there's a balance that is created. That is, you're able to not just think logically, but you are also able to think creatively in a way which makes the whole thing even more better, even more interesting. Now, creativity and imagination, these are the things that we have to keep in mind, are very, very important life skills and are very important for us to kind of lead a productive and successful life. Because until unless you're creative in whatever you're doing, until unless you are able to think beyond, the life, the things that you're doing are going to be so routine, so mundane, that it's not going to be something very exciting. Now, there's a small little exercise again that we'll be doing, an activity. So here, look with me. What is it that you see here on the screen? What is the image that you can see on the screen? Does it look like a woman? Some of you might have seen a woman here, or maybe a saxophone player, or do you see something else? Well, some of you might have seen a bird, perhaps, or a ray gun, tune, possibly, or maybe you see a puffing dragon, a dragon which is like, all in rage and blowing out hot air and fire, or maybe a funky spaceship. So, how many of you are knowing about a very unusual phenomena that's happening in our space these days? It's about Saturn and coming together. They are both coming in the same line. So maybe this funky spaceship is coming to see what is happening there in the space, maybe, and we are getting to see it or something like that. So, what is the correct answer? Well, it entirely depends on your imagination. It's how you look at it, it's how you imagine it, or it's how you kind of, look and, you are able to kind of, make whatever sense out of this picture. So, I feel that maybe it is a futuristic telephone. But then, at the same time, when we talk about creative thinking, imagination, it is something which is very much required because it inspires ideas and ideas inspire change. So imagine the time your parents might have told you, if we have children here, that in their days, in their younger days, there used to be a black chonge wala phone. And today we have got the sleekest and the fastest mobile phones possible. Those days we used to have Petromex and Laltens in case there was electricity power cut, or now we hardly, one of course, have power cuts, and we have got things like LEDs and very very small light devices available. So how does it happen? Once a thing is done, we can think that fine, what more can be done, what more innovations can be brought in, and all this thing is possible only when you are able to think creatively, if you are able to think different on different ideas. And this is all that is required to make things better, not just for us but for everyone on this earth. Now, kids who participate in arts, and arts, by arts here we mean not just the drawing and the painting bit. Arts means music, drama, dance, and of course the visual arts. So visual and performing arts are basically two broad categories, and in visual arts we can have drawing, painting, sculpture, mural making, and so many other things wherein you kind of draw, create, and do things which are more visual, presentable, presented visually. At the same time, there are performing arts wherein you are more kinesthetically involved. That is, you sing, you dance, you kind of, enact, you do things which kind of involve a lot of your expressions, your emotions, and more of it, your entire body and senses are involved there. So those children who participate in any of the art things, or maybe more than one, they develop problem solving abilities, they develop inspiration, tolerance, their physical health gets better, their memory is improved, they get more focused on, like, say, one very important thing in about mastering any of the art forms is focus and persistent practice. So I still remember that once when I was a student of classical Indian music, my Guruji always said that until and unless you riyaz for at least 1 hour early in the morning, you better not come for the class. And I was so scared of my Guruji that come what may, be what season, I used to get up early in the morning so that I don't miss out on my riyaz. Though that didn't continue for long, but yes, I learned the discipline to practice and focusedly practice regularly. So, this is one thing which definitely, say, for example, if you are a painter, until and unless you learn to master your strokes, you learn to master the way you are drawing or painting or using your colors or whatever you are doing, by no means can you get a perfect form or the way that you want to present your thoughts and ideas. Also, it is about finesse. So, with practice, definitely you are able to make things better and better. And maybe, who knows, one of you become one great artist one day in one of the art forms. So, when we have got so many benefits that we get when we are doing arts, why not get connected with at least one of the art forms with our whole heart, mind, and head? So, when we talk about arts, through arts, you and I, we can nurture our creativity, build confidence, see problems as opportunities. So I still remember once I was a kid and I was supposed to kind of, make a landscape as my homework. Now, when I looked at my color palette, the, color pots, I was not having some colors there in the palette. Say, for example, I needed violet, but that wasn't there. I needed, say, green. It was also not there. But then that was the time when I learned how to mix color and create a new color. So I mixed yellow and blue, and I was able to get one color. I mixed, say, blue and I think I mixed red, and I was able to get something which was more violet like in color. So, it's more like learning how to make that problem come through and be able to do something which kind of, gives you that sense of confidence that yes, I was able to find solution to it, and this is definitely one very important life skill. Also, you are able to persevere through many challenges because usually you are trying to draw a perfect stroke through a perfect stroke, a proper image, or you are trying to master a kind of basic note, or maybe you are trying to practice one, say, kind of dance step, but then there'll be times you'll not get perfectly the way it should be. So when you try and try again, the kind of confidence that you get when you're finally able to get to that point is immense. Then, of course, focus, which is a very important life skill to get your goals, to achieve your goals, is also something that you are able to learn when you are practicing various art forms. And one very beautiful thing which I personally like a lot about arts is that you are able to communicate in more than one ways, which is, it's not just words through which you communicate, it is through your expressions, through the art form that you are practicing, you are able to convey whatever you have in your mind. And definitely that is something which is very, very powerful. Then at times, any artist, you'll see any artist that you come across, they are always looking for feedbacks. So constructive feedback is something which helps you improve, and it makes things better, not just when you are practicing an art form, but also in your real life. And There cannot be an artist who can be arrogant about the art form that they are practicing. They always look for feedback, they always reflect on your performance. So I still remember whenever we used to kind of, do our plays, after the play was staged, the entire team used to sit with the director, and everybody used to share what was their experience. What is it that they can do to make their character even better the next time? What was it that they felt was a miss on stage on that particular evening? So, a lot of reflection, which was kind of a feedback for self as well as feedback for the co-actors, because it's all a collective thing, was done after every performance, and which indeed helped us to kind of sharpen our skills and become better performers. So this is one thing which you learn when you're practicing art forms, that you improve by accepting constructive feedback. Also, when you collaborate, there are a lot of art forms which are done in collaboration. When beautiful ideas come together, the masterpieces are created. And when you collaborate, you are giving space to other people's idea, which is indeed a very beautiful thing. So collaboration is one very important thing that you learn when you practice art forms. Then also, when we are making choices, we also understand how our choices are having an impact or are affecting others. So we are a little careful when we are making choices. We at times even mellow down in our presentation because we don't want to hurt the sentiments of others. And definitely, it's all about dedication, all the experiences that you get. It builds up your dedication, your regular commitment to whatever you are doing. Your persistent hard work is what is something that you learn when you are practicing arts. And then, by all means, these are the things that we all need to succeed in life. But are we doing the right thing, or we are doing the same old thing? So right now, how many of you feel that the way we are discussing about arts is the approach that you are getting to see in your classrooms, and of course is something that you are experiencing in your day-to-day life? Maybe not many of us. So let's stop doing the same old thing and let's understand about arts integrated learning, and also understand, will it make a difference? So for this, we'll have to go exploring, and here we go. And I'm sure you all must be having this question in your mind, that why is it important? Isn't it a waste of time? Isn't it something that makes you kind of feel that, oh, there are so many formulas that I have to learn, there are so many definitions that I have to kind of by heart remember, there is so much of mathematics practice that I have to do? Is it something which is important? Is arts something that I should be wasting my time in? So, first thing first, it's indeed not wasting your time, going to waste your time. So, let's understand the underlying concepts in art integration. So, there are essentially three ways that arts are taught in school. One is arts as curriculum, wherein you get to kind of learn lessons in dance, music, theater, visual arts, and which is usually taught by some arts specialist teacher. For example, maybe a singing technique taught by a qualified music teacher. Then is the other thing, which is art enhance the curriculum. So arts help to create understanding in other curricular area. For example, a classroom where teacher uses a song to teach the letters of alphabet. And then comes the arts integrated with other curriculum in a balanced way so that it supports the learning in arts discipline as well as the other curriculum. For example, learning about meter and musical notation is